So hopefully you've heard some people that you want to talk with a little bit after the meeting. We'll cut it a little short. We'll do about 30 minutes of talking and then leave about 15 minutes for everybody to talk. Or we can stay till a little bit after 8. So Audrey, go ahead and tell us what's going on, and then maybe somebody can jump in and say, well, did you do this? Try this? You know.
Well, this is a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. And we bought it in pretty rough shape. So we, of course, being brand new to this, we were underestimating the cost of renovating. So we did not anticipate the amount of framing that it was going to take. But we did do foundation, framing, roof, pretty much everything. What we ran across had to do, first of all, with the general contractor. He did not live up to his end of it, and we didn't cut ties soon enough. So we drug it out too long. And so basically he got the majority of the money that we intended to put into it. The other thing is that we didn't insist, we recommended, we requested, but did not insist that he itemize the costs of materials and repairs, and so that kind of got us into trouble. Then once we finally decided, okay, we couldn't continue working with him, then it became a matter of us just trying to find, just piecemeal, trying to find people that do work that still needed to be done. Right now, what we're kind of stuck because he had hired the electrician. The electrician did the rough-in and has the permit open, and now he's disappeared on us, and so we can't get the electrical finished unless we get somebody else, and we got to start over. We don't know how to close out the permit without that electrician. We haven't gotten to the finishing out the plumbing yet. So where we're at right now is the house is, everything inside is done, but we don't have a kitchen, and like we have everything to install in the bathroom, but the bathroom's not complete. And then there's a lot of little finalized things to do inside, like installing the water heaters and everything. So we know, it's probably going to take about $6,000 to finish, and we don't have $6,000 left at this point. Plus, we just got the tax bill. Like, so one more thing to think about. So, we either need to figure out how we can go ahead and do this, with someone else and get everything done and be able to sell it, or we're just going to have to say, take it and y'all do it and have fun with it. So, yes, sir.
So you're saying that you can't get the electrical done without the electrician closing out the permit?
Well, the city told us the original electrician is the one who has to close that permit. So
do you have his contact information?
We do. We keep trying to get a hold of him. He's not
Do you
responding.
have his address?
I think I have his business address.
Go to his business. That guy owes you. Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Get a big strong man.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll go with you. I'll go with you. That's not right for him to have done that. I'll go with you. Like if you want, I'll go with you, and we can knock at his place of business. Because if you can't get it done, you can't get it done, and he basically stole from you because you paid him, right?
Well,
So-
we haven't paid for the finish out. That's the thing.
Okay, so then either
You paid for him. You paid for what he did already.
We
and
paid
that's
for
it.
what he's done so far. Yeah.
So either he finishes, or he's not answering your phone calls, so he's probably not going to expect you to show up at his place of business.
And
So
you might want to ask the city also what their procedure is for
Yeah,
this
I'm sure
situation.
it's not the first time it's ever happened.
Right.
So-
They have to be able to let somebody else come in
Yeah.
who's licensed and everything and kind of substitute for the other guy. Yeah.
They didn't allow you to make a report on his business,
Well,
stating that.
We haven't gotten that far that we, thought about doing that. I mean, we just kept, because he was supposed to be there yesterday, but I've been calling him since Friday, and of course he didn't come yesterday, so now we're kind of thinking, well, he's
Yeah,
just
that's
not.
something that you might really want to think about, because after a certain amount of time that they have certain amount of reports, if they're doing it to someone else, they're gonna have reports on them. So they can pull their license.
So,
because of that.
so you mentioned that you said it needs about $6,000 to finish off. Where did you get that number from?
Well, just from what they've estimated for each of the things that we still have left to do.
Okay.
Like, and the kitchen is kind of a floating deal, you know, I mean, we know what we were originally gonna put into it. Now we're having to kind of backtrack and see, can we get it less, you know, and so.
Is it 6,000 conservatively, or is it 6,000, we're kind of pushing it kind of deal?
Let's just say at least 6,000.
At least,
So maybe
so like
10.
Yeah, so like 10.
So maybe you could partner with somebody who wants to put in the 10 and then split profit with you or something?
Well,
Is there-
at this point, I'm not sure, you know, whether we're gonna profit. We may be able to break even if we sell it. I'm not sure we're gonna be able to profit. Because it really has cost more than we anticipated.
What if you were to sell it as is?
That's what we were hoping is, you know, that's the other alternative, just sell it as is.
Do you know what that number is?
How much?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what we would like to get back, to be free and clear of it, would be 80,000.
What
But-
neighborhood? What's the subdivision?
It's not in a subdivision, it's just, it's, like the Quintana Road area, so it's southwest near, the
Have-
southwest campus of Palo Alto.
What retail value did you pull? What retail value were you thinking you were getting?
Well, we were originally gonna sell it complete at 95, that was what we wanted to get for it,
Okay.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, okay. And you mentioned it would be a great rental. What makes it a great rental? What are the rentals?
In the area, well, like a lot of the people that we've had come by and see it and talk to us, you know, they're wanting to rent because they can't qualify to buy. So most of the people in the area are gonna fall into that category. There are some people who are interested in it and would buy it, but we're not finished with it, and, you know, if we can't do that, then.
Would you be willing to own or finance it?
My problem is we need to get the bulk of the money back pretty quickly.
Okay, so big down payment. Yeah.
Money back.
What, well, did you have any CMAs for the rental rates on it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Do you know what it would rent for? Market value for
Convert.
rental?
Well, not really, no.
Okay.
If you had the money, would you finish it out?
I wanted to, if I had the money, I really wanted
So I know like security service has an unsecured line of credit for 7% interest, and that'll go up to 25,000.
Well, I already have, yeah.
Oh, you have all you've
Yeah.
already all your credit attached to this. Okay, I was just trying to help you out with like
Yeah.
different options and everything.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we need to kind of get it back now. is,
Okay.
you know, if we're not making any money off of it, then we're just gonna keep paying
The interest,
all
right.
the interest on it.
Exactly.
So to break even at this point, you need 80.
That's kind of what my sister and I went in this together, so that was her estimate, you know, I mean, if we really got down to the numbers, we could, you know, it might be negotiable, but I'm thinking, you know, it's pretty close to 80.
I get you. Okay. Cool. So you might just have to finish it out and rent it, and maybe get like a private money loan from somebody to, you know, and then rent it out, pay them down a little bit, and then finance out in a few years. Like, because you've already got your own money into it, right? So at this point, my thoughts, I don't know, you guys, I seem to be talking a lot. My thoughts are, get a $10,000-$12,000 loan, right? Private money preferably, or something that you know that you can rent it out and have that and pay it down a little bit, and pay whatever you've got down a little bit. That's gonna be the best exit strategy. Maybe refinance out in about 3 or 5 years, and hopefully the numbers are there. Is what I think. Now, I've only got like 2.5 years of experience though, so.
I agree with you, but you wanna know what your rental rate is gonna be.
Right, yeah, of
Okay.
course, you wanna know what the rental rates are, so if the rentals are good versus whatever you're paying back on the loan, you're already 80 into it. You're gonna have to get the loan, and you're gonna be probably gonna be upside down on the retail value. So the best thing to do is get a small loan, finish it out, rent it out, maybe ask for $3,000, $3,000 or $5,000 on a down payment, or owner finance it to somebody.
Is
They
there a
might,
back, yeah, is there a back room that you can make that a 3-bedroom? Because you could probably get an extra couple $100.
No, but it doesn't.
if you fixed it up well enough, you could owner finance it to somebody for a little bit more, or maybe a couple $1,000s more than retail, and get a higher down payment. A lot of people out there that don't qualify for a bank loan, right? But they have $20,000 under their mattress, or they've been working at the same job for the past 10 years. They just don't have the credit for a bank loan. So you might be able to owner finance it if you finish it out. I would try to find a loan to finish it out. Private money, somebody that's going to help you out with $10,000, and just bring that down, pound into it until it's done, until you're low enough to refinance out. Is what I would do. I think.
I got another idea. You could do rent to own. Instead of taking a down payment, find somebody that has the money to finish it out, and you put them in a credit repair program, so that maybe in a year the house will be finished. In a year they can qualify for a mortgage, and then they can cash it out.
That's an even better idea.
It's a great idea.
That sounds like that sounds like the best.
I got something for you on the south side. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, actually, I'm working on something else too, actually, over on the south side too.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll get you.
Who else has a problem, issue, something that maybe they're having problems with, whether it's marketing or whatever, finding money, something? Somebody? I know somebody's got some issues.
Those are the issues.
All of the above?
Yeah. My two main issues is finding good contractors, and the second is finding private money. I thought it was going to be easy, that's what I was told, but it's not. The problem with private money is that there's lots of it out there, but people don't know that they qualify to be a private money lender. They've got all this money in 401ks and IRAs, but they don't know how to get it into self-directed IRAs, which then you can borrow. Do you know how to do that?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, how do you do that?
I've been asking these companies, how do I teach the people to do this? Because whenever I go to IRA guys, all they want to do is know how much I got so they can take mine. Now I don't have any because I've spent it already on this business. But private money, hey, it's easy. I can pay anywhere from 8 to 12% interest to anybody because the money's there in the houses. You know, it's just that I can't locate anybody. And I can't teach them. When I tell them 8 to 12%, they think I'm a Ponzi scheme. Right, it sounds unbelievable.
Tell them, okay, fine, let's do 6%, whatever.
You know, a lot of people will believe that.
I believe you, I really do.
But still, it all goes back to the fact that we aren't taught about financing in school. And,
It was on me.
it's an unknown thing. All we hear about are the Ponzi schemes. And so that's what first thing comes to people's mind.
Why are
But-
people so skeptical? Can you show like a track record of saying, look at
Yeah.
this is how many properties I've
Yeah.
done, and this
No,
is how much I've paid
because I'm
back?
too new in the business. You know?
That, I guess that.
But why I can't get, I would love to get there's several of them here in Texas of, they're, I forgot what you call them, third-party, self-directed IR companies. You know, they don't even invite me to bring the people to them, which I would. If they would just teach me enough that I could convince the person to go to them, we'd all be successful.
Do you know anybody who's already who's already done private money lending?
They, fellow investors will say they have, but again, nobody wants to share their secrets. That's why I'm here.
Well, yeah,
Any of you got secrets you want to share?
I can tell you real quick. So yes, if you work somewhere, say 10 years, you have some money in a 401k, and then you go to a different job, that money's going to stay there at Fidelity or Schwab or whatever company that your company uses. So it sits there. So you change jobs and then you change jobs again. So you can bring this one over here and you can bring this one over here, or you can leave them where they are. Now you can also call Quest IRA in Houston and transfer that money, roll it over, not pull it out. You roll it over so it stays in a qualified fund, but it goes to a different company. So now it's at Quest, and say it's $100,000 sitting at Quest now. Well, it's sitting like in a savings account for you, so it's not really earning anything. But Rick Pozos can borrow that money. So I say, hey, Mauricio, let me borrow some of your money that's in your IRA.
How much do you want?
So I say, well, I'm going to do an owner finance. I'm going to buy a note, and it's $80,000 note, but I'm going to buy it for $40,000. So okay, so I go to him. He says yes. He calls Quest. They do some paperwork, and they do a fund disbursement, something or other, and then they do a deed of trust and all that. So it's all, and it goes through a title company. So they'll pull that $40,000, send it to a title company, and then they go and whoever I'm buying the note from. So basically, he's the bank. So he's controlling his money over here. It goes for what I need, whether it's buying a house or a note, or I'm going to do a rehab or whatever it is. So now I'm paying, not him directly, I'm paying his IRA the money. So let's say it's interest, it's $40,000, 12% interest, so $400 a month. I'm just paying that $400 a month. You know, in 2 years or whatever, I sell the note, so then I got to pay him the $40,000. So now he has 4 years of 4,800, or 2 years of 4,800. So now he has over $9,000 plus the other money. So you want to lend it out 40 here and then 60 there. So now it's all out. As it starts coming back in, it starts building up, and you lend it out again, and so you can do that.
You can't do it on your own, just so you know.
You can't borrow from yourself.
No.
So it's only.
Right.
Yeah, and then everything becomes then tax deferred.
That's what
Is it illegal to do
So
it with another person? Like, I borrow
what you're trying to do is get these
As
people,
long as you have a
you know
good trust
people
and
who
a
have these
joint venture
401ks and IRAs and
No.
all that stuff. Oh, you
That's
don't
my
know the
problem.
people? Oh, I thought you said you knew them and they just didn't believe
Yeah,
you
so-
or something like
So
that.
like you can team up with somebody.
So,
Like you could literally both have $100,000 in your IRA,
Yes.
and I could borrow your $100,000.
Your
you could borrow
LLC
mine.
to his LLC, you have to do it from the, and then all the profits have to go back to the said self-directed IRA.
Okay.
she might be able to help you out, right? You said you were a financial analyst?
I run the numbers and let you know if it's a good deal or not. And so depending on the rates that the rate of the deal and the
It
rates
would
of
have
the
to IRA
operating
deal,
company.
yeah, a deal as a whole, whether it's gonna be a flip or a cash flow, and then
Okay.
everything has to be just done with the numbers to make sure it makes sense.
But do you guys know how to how to explain
Yes.
what he's asking
Yes.
to explain?
You want me to put in a PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah.
He wants to educate the people that have money to do this so they can get a better rate of return.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
Something together.
you get the PowerPoint, I'll get the laser pointer, let's do it.
All right.
Well, and I'm,
Then you gotta get the room full of people with money and that wanna invest in.
Yeah.
We can do it.
And rent out a
Use the
room.
Facebook post.
Yeah, we can, I mean, I guess they can explain it to you and kind of give an example deal.
$25 a head, now you have, no, I'm just kidding.
well, and also,
No, if these people have money, we're charging at least $2,500.
At least, right?
well, and Quest IRA has great website. They have a lot of videos. They go live and they do their presentation, I think
Well,
twice
you
or
could even
three
have a
times.
representative come down and really explain it. I mean, that's
I've
honestly
tried.
what-
They
You
don't want
tried?
to.
You
Oh
tried?
my gosh,
Yeah, to
would
have
we-
them come here.
If we convince people to do this, would we get a referral fee for if we use them?
Well, why
I guess
wasn't
that's
it
something
today?
to
This
talk
is
to
all
Quest
free.
about.
I pay the $20 for the room, and
No,
that's
I'm just saying, like,
Oh,
if
for
we
him.
teach people
Oh,
how
yeah.
to do it, I need an IRA company for them to do it with.
Right. And we know of one, but we're not gonna run.
No, we're not gonna use them, they can't handle what they have right now.
No, Quest is capable, it's just that, again. I've
they're
asked
pretty
them-
big, and they go to Soria and Alamo investors, so
Oh,
they're
so they'll go
there.
there.
They're there.
Gotcha.
And they pay to be there. They pay, I think, $600 a meeting, so,
Oh, okay.
yeah. But if we can get, I'm gonna keep trying to get somebody over here so they can explain it more. But they do have great information on their website.
Okay, maybe
So
that's where you can start directing
that's
people
probably
then.
where you need to go and look at
Yeah.
it. They have all kinds of articles and so.
Yeah, I just need to push them. I've
Yep.
asked and I don't get a response.
And so I would say if anybody here has some friends or maybe a little older getting ready to retire, or if somebody's worked at a single job for 10 or 15 years and has left to go to a different job, they probably have a good chunk of money sitting there. So that would be somebody to talk to say, hey, I just want to ask you about your retirement. You know, you look like you're getting a little older. What are you thinking? Or did you ever move that money over? And
I'm 20.
just try to start talking to them about their 401k. And if they're willing to put it at Quest or another company, then you can borrow it from them.
Well, and another way you can explain it too is, you know, being in a regular IRA, you're essentially telling Schwab, here's my money, you figure out where it needs to be to make money. And as opposed to a self-directed IRA, you're in charge of telling them where you want your money to be invested, instead, you know, partnering up with another PI.
Yeah.
So,
And then on
You would
your
personally
end,
have more
you would
control.
wanna have like some sort of presentation packet, to show the rate of return instead of just saying what it could possibly be.
right, because anything over 8%, everybody does assume, oh wait, that's a Ponzi scheme, because that's what we've been told by whoever, you know, so but you can show it, you can show the flow, like an AROI, annualized rate of return. And show them where it goes.
The way I've been able to get people to invest with me, specifically in mobile home parks, is I've specifically targeted people that have invested in some sort of form of real estate in the past, and they don't want to be active in real estate. They just want a check in the mail. So people who are like, I don't know, they're like 50 and over, that, you know, they've had rental properties before, or they've been the bank before, so they kind of understand what we're doing. And I just pitch them my track record and what I can offer them. And so I think just going up to people who have been in this mindset or been investing in some form of fashion, probably, well, that's what I've done and been successful at.
I work with a guy who, like, for all my cash buyers who have like IRA money, like he teaches them and stuff like that. If you want to give me your email, I can share his contact with you. But he's super like on the tip of investing, real estate, and stuff like that. So he pretty much like informs them and then handles like all the switchovers that there is. And
So do you have to know somebody? Like, if I don't know anybody that has a lot of money, could I just call Quest RA, hey, is there anybody that wants to lend their money?
Well, you know, they have meetings. They have them in, I don't know if they have any in San Antonio right now, but I know they have them in Austin, Dallas, and Houston. And then they have somewhere in Michigan or somewhere else. So I've been to a couple of them. And what I do is I just kind of go and sit there and you know, somebody sits close to you and, hey, how you doing? I'm Rick. How you doing? So what are you doing? Are you investing? Or do you have money here with them? Or you just start talking to them and asking them. And it's kind of, well, they say, oh yeah, well, I'm a rehabber. Oh, okay, that's what I do too. And then of course you don't want to focus your time on that person. You want to go find somebody else who says, yeah, I'm going to put, you know, part of my retirement money in there. Oh, okay, well, yeah, talk to me some more. Because I'm doing some, and if you put all your money in there, well, you have to lend it out or do something with it. What are you going to do with it? And if they say, well, I have a friend who I'm going to lend, and okay, well, that's probably the person you want to talk to a little more.
I just have two random questions, since I don't know that many people. How do you guys reach big investors? And here in San Antonio, since I've moved here, I've noticed a huge blow up of the new build construction companies. How do you guys compete against them? Because they're just every corner that you turn, and the prices that they're giving, like the KB homes, are so cheap. Like, well, they are cheap. They're built cheap, some of them they're able to buy them cheap. And then they have a lot of, they go down, they have all the signs and everything up, like, how is a normal person supposed to compete against?
I don't want a new build, I want a mid-century modern. I don't want to do, you know what I mean, I like older homes, I mean, it just depends on people's tastes, not everybody wants, I don't like brand new homes.
And for me, I do, I'm very into the new construction, we bought a new construction,
I did, and I hate
like
it.
2 of them, this is my second new construction.
But not everybody's like that.
Yeah, and I know everyone's not like that, but there's so many here, and they're always advertising, they're always pushing. Like, I can't go through Facebook without seeing one post. So, every like two of them, you know, like every, like you scroll, post.
Post more.
That's because what you're clicking on, you're clicking
Are you saying that investors are buying these new builds?
No, I'm wondering how do you guys reach big investors, like if you have a
It's
big, if you
not a
have a
call.
property and you wanna sell it.
Not a call.
There's a buyer for every kind of house,
Yeah.
anywhere all over town. At
Yeah.
any price
Networking
range.
events like these.
Like, I'm saying like personally for me, if I'm trying to find, I have a house to buy, like let's say I have a bunch of them that I just need to get dumped and let's just say I just had them for some reason, I just had like 100 of them, I need to dump to a big investor so I can unload at once.
You want
You want to unload 100
Yeah,
at a
let me
time?
know, I'll take them.
You're talking like over $1 million in assets or something?
Like package deals kind of
Package.
thing.
portfolio.
Well, you
Like
would go
entirely
like here.
Yeah.
Like I've partnered with a few people here to buy some properties. Okay, I've sold some properties to some people here also. Like Nick's not here, but I've sold him probably 4 or 5 houses. And at all the investor groups, there's people. You just have to network, talk to them. Do you have business cards?
I do not.
Well, that's a big problem because you got to have cards. You got to give them to everybody and tell everybody that you are the person to talk to, and or have a meeting. Everybody knows Rick Pozos now, right? So hopefully, if you have a great deal, you bring it to me, and there you go.
No, bring it to me.
But-
Because I'm just.
I'll bid him.
He said, "Oh, bring it to me." What do you have on your Facebook that all you see is new builds? Do you have a bunch of realtors or no offense to any
Just
realtors?
realtors pop up, everything random, and I like delete them like all the time, but they still just pop up all the time for me.
Have you tried adding yourself to the Facebook group?
Besides the one place I want to actually buy into, like I liked it.
The Facebook groups here in San Antonio, there's a lot of like, you just like Facebook search real estate investing, San Antonio real estate investing.
Yeah.
I tell these guys all the time, add yourself to the groups, post in the groups, look for the group, because those are the groups, because there's investors that look there. If you're looking like, if a lot of your Facebook has a lot to do with realtors and all that stuff, you're gonna see a bunch of like new builds and things like that. But if you add yourself to those groups, ask to join those San Antonio real estate investing. Real estate investing is my passion. Hilco Homes. If you just add yourself to those groups or like those Facebook pages, you'll see a lot. I see tons of investment posts all the time, and investment posts. People who are looking for deals, people like Rick who are looking for properties, people like anybody else here that are looking for like investment properties, not new builds. So it's all about what you're adding yourself to or what you're looking at on Facebook.
I sold my first deal on the Facebook page. I just put, hey, who buys on the south side next to Pika Pika? And like 5-10 people, hey, send it to me, send it to me, send it to me.
Yeah, he's not even joking.
You can sell 10 pictures
That's what I did with my wholesale too. That I did, I stuck it on Facebook, and within that first day, I had at least like 20 people contact me, and like 12 people come out and actually look at it that day. So I mean, you do get people that'll, run when they see it, literally.
You just gotta let people know what you're looking for.
Yeah, and that's kind of the newer way, the younger people thing to do. It's like put it on Facebook, man, and then there's thousands of people who have access to it. I'm a little more old school. I go to this meeting, Alamo Investors, where you sit there and they do a little presentation, and then you got to actually shake hands with people and talk to people face to face. So my thing is I know the people, they know me, they trust me. If I say yes, this is going to work, or I'm going to buy it, they know I'm going to buy it.
Because that's the aspect I like that's attracted me to this and stuff, because this is my first time working in almost 10 years after being a stay-at-home mom, so I'm trying something new and
Yeah.
stuff.
we had Alamo Investors is a good group also. It is a little, it's a little bit pitchy. They try to sell you classes and some junk like that, but there are a lot of people who rehab houses, there's people who own or finance. There's all different kinds of people, and just get in there and start meeting people.
The property I know of, it's not here in town, but it's not a home. It's a multi-unit complex of an apartment, and they have 5 units of them, 5 large units. So it's a big one.
Yeah. Well, just get some more information and then either put it in one of the groups or just talk to some people that you've met at different groups and either in person or from Facebook.
I've tried to go through the networks of people I know, but it seems like no one has enough.
Are there any commercial investors in here?
Just mobile home parks,
Yeah.
but that's it.
I know somebody named Nick Upton. He's on Facebook, but he does commercial real estate.
It's actually in Dallas, like in the heart of Dallas area. Well, I know not in the heart of Dallas, but like Denton. Oh yeah. So it's pretty much like 5 apartment buildings, a total of the 5 apartment buildings. There are different like breakdowns, like room sizes and whatnot. But then there's like in total there's 301 units, and then 20,000 like storefront. All the storefront already has like occupants in there, like stores, you know.
So you're trying to buy it or
So
sell it?
it's like a package portfolio,
Okay.
and then but it's like all together. And it's all like remodeled, you know what I mean? Like it's like ready, move in, ready, but there's no work anymore.
So you kind of want to be the asset manager that maintains that, and you're looking for cash buyers? I'm just trying to figure out what your
They're just trying to
goal is.
offload it,
Mhm.
you know, kind of.
But if it's,
They
is
did
it
their-
has to be on the MLS?
I don't think it is on
Right now
right
it's
now.
not.
But they're going
So
to.
it's kind of like exclusive, FNF, but I mean, if anybody knows of, it's,
No, just saying if you're, I'm saying like if it was like a pocket listing that you know that
Right,
house, then you
yes.
could
Yeah.
bring that to someone who specializes in apartment complexes and have them kick you into the deal with a percentage of
Basically,
ownership.
that's what it is right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if anybody's interested in seeing more information,
I would just take that to like, there's
Yeah.
an apartment meetup group in San Antonio, I would just bring it to their attention,
Mhm.
have them cut you into a percentage of the deal if you exhaust all the other areas.
Or add yourself to the Dallas Facebook
Yeah,
page.
that's
The
it.
Dallas multi-family Facebook page.
I gotta become a Facebooker.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you
Now-
don't have Facebook?
Now, and that big of a project also, that's probably none of the people, because it was like 50 million, right? So that's not going to be anybody in this room,
No.
I guarantee you. Or at Alamo Investors or Saria or any of those. That's people who have
Yeah.
10 million to put down right there.
Not even
Like
That's-
for me,
San
it's
Antonio,
more
really.
of like a learning aspect, just how to do it and connect and, you know,
Right.
not even for the percentage. I just want to know how to do it and to say, hey, I have made this deal. And
Yeah.
then-
Well, commercial brokers is the person to talk to. You're gonna have to talk to a commercial broker, and they would have to get a number of their clients together to put the 10 million or 20 million into the deal. So, I mean, mostly everybody I would think is probably under $1 million. They're looking for stuff under $1 million.
Yes.
Probably mostly about 100,000.
Who in this room invested out of state, like outside of Texas? Does anybody? Maybe? Nobody else?
There's,
I know buyers out of state.
yeah,
But it would still be like a wholesale deal to out of state buyers.
Yeah, for
Depends
some-
which state too.
Yeah, what state are we talking?
Yeah, which state?
yeah, not
Like,
Nebraska.
we've got, 2 properties, Santa Monica,
Oh,
California.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you my business.
Yeah, and, Santa Monica? No, Cali?
Crazy expensive.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, that can be over
But
$1
it-
million out there.
I'm looking for someone with a
Yeah.
I'm sure it's crazy expensive.
Not that expensive, like Hawaii is expensive. Nah, I don't know.
Have you been to Hawaii?
Born and raised.
Oh, shit. Oh, never mind. I got screwed on that one.
You played yourself.
Anybody else have any questions, issues, problems going on?
I just need flips. If anybody's got a flip, give me a call.
Send them over.
Leave some meat on the bone,
Call,
though.
call Marco.
Yeah, leave some meat on the bone, though.
Yeah, call Marco, or Juan, or Amy, or Aaron.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming by. Like I said, if you want to talk to somebody in particular, get their card. If you don't have cards, get some cards made. You got to have cards so you can and trade cards with people. Hopefully, there was enough cards up here. If you didn't have my card, grab it up here. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
All right.